Module 6, Culturally Diverse Lesson Plan. So in this module, I'm asking you to create a culturally diverse lesson plan. And I'm going to take you through the module so you can see what's required. You'll find this in Module 6. And here is create a culturally diverse lesson plan. So you're going to click in, and it's going to show you what we need to do. So the purpose of this lesson is you're going to create a culturally diverse lesson plan that's based on your cultural self-assessment. So a lot of people get a little stuck here and they think, I'm going to do a lesson plan on diversity. It's not on diversity. It's on the cultural group that you chose to compare to your own, or you can even use your own cultural group to create a lesson that incorporates that culture that you studied into the lesson. So the first point of this is it should focus on an element of culture that you explored in your cultural self-assessment, so either yours or the other culture. It should explore it in depth, and it should be age appropriate. So you can look at music from that culture if that's something you're examining. You can look at some types of traditions that people have. Whatever it is, you want to make sure that it's age appropriate. So you're not doing something where the kids are, it's way above their age range. It could represent the cultures in your classroom as well, which a lot of you chose in your culturally diverse, in your cultural self-assessment. And the big one is it should not involve a holiday or food. The reason that I did that is a lot of times people go right to the holiday or right to the food and they say, I've done it. This is something asking you to try to do something a little bit different. So we're going to be using the lesson plan template, and I'm going to take you through it now. I also want you to pay attention to the rubrics because this is what I grade you on. So we want to make sure that you cover this, that you go back and you reflect and you say, okay, did I do all of these things as we go through? Because it's important. That's what I'm grading on. And this paper counts as quite a bit of your grade. So you really want to spend time working on it. Now, in this, we're going to go back to the module, and we will find the actual template. Here we go, Module 6, and there it is, Diverse Lesson Template. So when you click into that, it's going to download, or here, and I'm going to share this with you so you can see what it looks like. Now, this is what you're going to be using to complete your lesson plan. So the first thing you want to do is, what are you trying to get the kid across the idea? This is the lesson focus. You're going to move into the standards, and you can find them in the Common Core Standards for New York State. Make sure you put down the number in there as well. I want to know, what are you addressing during the lesson? And really try to get these down to 2 at the max. That way it narrows the scope of the lesson. We want to look at the objectives. What will the students know and be able to do at the end of the lesson? So student will be able, if I was doing a lesson of tying their shoe, student will be able to take 2 sides of a lace, cross them over, fold them up in between, and make 2 bunny ears, cross them, and make a bow. So that's what I want them to do at the end of the lesson. The materials, if I were doing tying shoes, it would probably be a shoe and some laces. Prior academic learning and prerequisite skills. Things that they would need to know before they do this lesson. So 1, they would have to know that laces can tie. They need to know that shoes should be tied so that they stay firmly on your feet, and that hands can be used to tie bows. Misconceptions. So what would your misconception be in this? All shoes have Velcro, and I never need to learn how to tie a bow. That would be a misconception. Now here we're getting into lesson introduction. The things that you will do, how you will set the stage for children understanding what it is you want to introduce. Then we have the learning activities that take place during the lesson. And we're talking about active engagement. So we really want kids to be doing something and be engaged, not just listening to the teacher. How are you going to close this lesson when it ends and make sure that you understand what the kids have learned? And the extension, if you had all the time in the world, what would you do next? And then we get into your assessment strategy. And that should be evidence of formative assessment, strategy one, it could be something like, I will give every kid a shoe and walk around and observe them tying the shoe. And when they complete it, they help their friend tie a shoe. And at the end, hopefully we'll have 2 tied or semi-tied shoes. And then we're going to get into community assets. Now, this is important because really what we're doing in this cultural lesson plan is we want to include the community. This is something we talk about quite a bit when we're talking about this class. So how are you going to get the community involved? How is this going to get parents involved? How is this going to get local people involved? Are you going to use a shop down the street that happens to have some of those elements in it? Are you going to bring people in? Those should be explicitly laid out, and it's something I'm going to be looking for. And we do it again here, community, family outreach. So just don't give me, I send out a class dojo. We really need to know, what is it you're going to be doing? How does this explore the cultures in your community? And so these lessons should all be unique. You should not be copying this lesson from anywhere. If you use anything in the lesson that comes from another source, it needs to be acknowledged here. But please know, this lesson cannot be something you've used in your classroom before. This is not a lesson that you found off the internet. This has to be completely unique. Now, if you need more information in the module, and I'll take you back to the module, you're going to see that there are exemplars of things that people have done in the class before and that went really well. Here's the Module 6 exemplars. So take a minute, get yourself used to it, see what it is, see how it's laid out, and you can really think about how what you want to do in terms of some of the exemplars that have been posted there. That does not mean copying them, but they're a really good frame of reference to get a sense of what it is that I want when it comes to your culturally diverse lesson plan. So I look forward to reading it. And if you have any questions, please let me know.